What's up, everybody? It's Nika Simone here for another episode of Welcome to My House for ComedyHype.com. I'm super excited for one. Finesse just helped me do a little stand-up. So I have my first at the Laugh Factory here.
Yes.
But my first interview for Comedy Hype was Tony Rock right upstairs here.
How about that?
So thank you for giving me this opportunity. We
Yes.
have Finesse Mitchell this time, you guys.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me. What's up, Comedy Hype? I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to do this interview. Absolutely.
Laugh Factory.
Legendary Laugh Factory.
And it's definitely this one. Legendary Laugh Factory. I feel like when it's like, welcome to my house, for you, why is this your home? 'Cause we couldn't go to home. You got a new baby at home.
Right.
You got a toddler running around.
Right. This is my home because when I made the move from Atlanta, Georgia to Los Angeles, at the time, and I'm keeping it really real,
Okay.
my girlfriend was working for the Laugh Factory. She was working with the owner, Jamie Masada. And she was managing the club and handling real estate. She was like pre-law, so she was all into everything.
Okay.
But the plan was, I'm gonna go out there and get plugged in, and then I'm gonna bring you out. I was like, all right, cool, because I'm in Atlanta working at Allstate Insurance. I'm just, I'm trying to.
I got Allstate.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, one day, Jesus,
Yes.
I'm gonna lead his job. And sure enough, she got plugged in, and when she said to me, hey, Finesse, they giving out deals. And I said, what's the deal? Like, they giving out holding deals to comedians. So back in the early 90s, no, not early 90s, I'm sorry, late 90s, early 2000s, you can get up here and do a 15-minute set. Somebody could see you, and the network will say, okay, we'll give you $60,000 to try to develop you.
Oh,
and that's when everybody was running to Montreal for Just for Laughs.
Okay, yeah.
And all these different festivals. But comedians were getting holding deals. So she was like, you don't need no 30 minutes. They only doing 10-minute to 15-minute sets out here. You ready. Get out here. And so that was my introduction to not only LA, but this club. This was the club that put me up first. Jamie Masada was the person who looked out for me, and also told me that as I rise in doing comedy, give back to the community. And so he also taught me about just the charity part of what we do, other than serving ourselves. So I learned a lot at this club, and to this day, it's my joint. Can I say something else?
Say something.
I told you I'm long-winded. This is also my home club because I'll never forget. This is the club that won me I won me the spot, but this was our last audition spot for Saturday Night Live.
Wow.
When they were looking for the new black guy. And that's what I always call it.
Black guy.
Tracy Morgan had left the show, and they were looking for a replacement.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, the finals were me, D. Ray Davis, J.B. Smooth, Keenan Thompson, and I believe Kel Mitchell. I'm not sure. But they ended up, and we performed here after performing 4 different times in New York. They couldn't make up their mind. They flew out to L.A. because we were all based out here. And we had a big showcase, and I brought the house down that night and got the call that, Finesse, we would like
Laugh
you
Factory been good to you.
Oh, what?
This is like that spot when I got to interview Tony Rock. He was talking about, this is when I first was trying to break in and do this journalism stuff. This is the place like you want to be on a Tuesday. And I just realized we're here on a Tuesday. I remember Alex Thomas was talking about the line outside.
Right.
And when I was pulling up, I'm like, oh my God, they're serious.
Right.
Like,
Right. Tuesday.
to get in.
Just to like get past at the Laugh Factory. There are so many people that line up as they are right now
Yes.
outside to just get their 3 minutes on this stage in front of the owners and the bookers to see if they can get past at the Laugh Factory. And they do it every Tuesday. And so it's real humbling to drive by in the daytime on a Tuesday to see that line, to realize, thank God my girlfriend worked here because I ain't do that shit. What? I bypassed all that bullshit. What?
That's that famous sometimes.
Yes. Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
How did you get into comedy though?
You know what? The real story is that in Miami, I went to the University of Miami. Shout out to the U. And we had 3 clubs down in South Florida, but the most popular one was the Miami Grove, the Miami Improv.
Okay.
In Coconut Grove. And you know how comedy clubs always give out free tickets. So it was a group of us going out on this big group date, and we had free passes.
Okay.
So we was impressing the ladies. We got in free. Plan was working. We was all gonna order water, Cokes, Sprites. Did not know there was a 2-drink minimum, and they wanted you to drink real drinks or order food.
Yeah.
So, you know, the girls didn't know the plan, so they was like, I'll have the baked chicken, and we all looking, the dudes looking at each other like, hell no. One girl was like, Hennessy and Coke. We were like, hell no. And so
college.
what was going on was there was a joke contest, and the host said, oh, by the way, whoever got the best joke, we gonna take care of your 2-drink minimum tonight. We got your tab.
Oh, wow.
So all the dudes at the table looked at me like, nigga, save us. It's you. You know, I mean, what do you mean? And like, go up there and tell a joke. And I was like, shit. All right. So my brain is spinning and stuff. And I was like, okay, I maybe. And so then I was like, and my date was right here, and I was like, they want me to go up there and tell a joke.
Yeah.
This girl was like, he got a joke.
Oh, wow.
He got a joke. And so, you know, I called out her name, right? And that's where it started. That's why people don't know that side of me. But you can't help but be like, bitch, you crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, but he said, so the dude started ragging on me. You know what I'm saying? Because you said you didn't know me to be that type of person. And I'm not. I'm not. But the host started ragging on me until I got out my seat. Okay. So I was like, all right.
Had to get up.
I had to get up. And I'm on the stage with 3 other people. And I thought of a joke right then and there. My joke won. You know, we probably ain't got that much time to go into the joke, but my joke won. And it had to be a good joke. Because I do remember the girl who brought the house down. It wasn't even brought the house down. She just had a good joke. Mm-hmm. She put a $1 bill in her pants and had it, you know, hanging out over her pants.
Okay.
And then she said, what's this? And everybody said, what? She said, all you can eat for under $1. And everybody was like, oh. Yeah. See, they got that. So now I'm like, oh, here we go. And and my saving grace was that, and this is me thinking of a joke on the spot. The host, who was heckling people throughout, there was this chick in the back that just kept going, rah, 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 rah. And he was like, look, ma'am, we ain't gonna have all that, you know, sir, put a leash on her, because we not gonna have all that. 5 seconds later, rah, 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 and so everybody started turning around like, is she drunk? Like, what's wrong with her? So while we were telling our joke contest, he gave me the mic. And so I said, well, how many of y'all went to public school? And everybody started clapping, yeah. And I was like, all right, well, y'all know they got them different drills for everything. I said, for the tornado drill, we had that ding, 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 ding. And everybody go out in the hallway and put your head down and then you laugh and all that stuff. And I said, and for the hurricane drill, because my, you know, South Florida and Atlanta, you had that Everybody was like, yeah. And I said, and for the fire drill, we didn't have no bell. We just had that drunk bitch in the back going, rah, 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 rah. First joke ever. And I closed my eyes. I looked up. That's what I saw. I just saw people doing. And I looked around. And then I puffed my chest out like, yeah, I murdered that. And the dude was like, yo, dog, you just made that up. And I was like, yeah. He said, oh, you got to come back next week. And I was like, okay. He was like, no, you good, bro. Come back next week. And I was like, okay. So the next week I came back, Nika. And this time I was like, I invited all my friends. I was like, I'm a comedian. So y'all come on down. I wore a shirt and tie. As of right now, I was like, I got to put the shirt and tie. I said, y'all come back. I put out flyers. Come see me at the Miami, at the Miami Improv. I'm about to do 3 minutes. And I got up there. I did not know you were supposed to like do the same material, you know, work material. I just thought you get up there and start talking and magic happens. Man, when I tell you, I heard the worst sound you could ever hear, because it ain't getting booed. It's silence. If you tell a joke and you don't hear nothing, and then you're like, all right, then you tell another joke and people just, you hear nothing. And then I heard the second worst sound in comedy, and it came from a black girl, because you always know a black girl. I heard this.
Because it was so funny.
That shit was so loud. I was like, God,
like in church on Coming to America, how everybody was just waiting on this fool to get off this.
That was good. Man, you must be out your damn mind.
But I feel like everybody has to go through it, right?
Yeah. And what happened was, that was my crack. My crack was that standing ovation I got first, hearing crickets the second time, and my friends not even wanting to talk to me after the show. It was just like that wave from a distance. Hey man, hey, good, hey, and as they walking out, like, hey, so and then coming back, and the host looked at me, same host. He was like, "Why didn't you do what you did last week?" And I was like, "You could do that." He was like, "Yeah, man, you got to work your material." And I was like, "Oh, man, I don't know what I'm doing." He was like, "Come back next week." And I came back the next week. And that was it. I was hooked after that. Wow. I just kept going to open mic nights. And then, 6 years later, I was on Saturday Night Live. Won't he do it?
6 years later.
Look at God.
Saturday Night Live, though, that's, like you said, the trial was here.
Yeah. It was at Stand Up New York in New York City. And I was in Group C. I was like number 7 in Group C. It had to be about 50 dudes. New York, Chicago, Atlanta, LA. And it got narrowed down to 10 people. And I was in 10. And then it got narrowed down again to, like, I think 7. And then we went into Studio 8H and 30 Rock and performed on the SNL stage. And it was pitch black, spotlight, and you just saw shadows of people in the corner. And nobody was laughing, but you had 7 minutes and to do your thing. And I went and I did my routine and everything. And I heard cameraman snickering like so that kept my little timing together. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then when your time was up, he was like, all right, I'm Finesse Mitchell, thank you. And he walked off. You go back into your little cubicle room backstage, and I ain't gonna never forget this. Those petitions can slide together. Okay. But if they're not fitting right, you can still see a little crack. And so the producer, one of the head producers, Steve Higgins, and a dude named Mike Shoemaker, they came into my room later, and they was like, "So what's your name?" I said, Finesse Mitchell. They said, "That's your real name?" I said, it was sort of like a nickname, but I've been called Finesse for so long. They were like, "Okay, cool. You go to school?" I said, "Yeah, University of Miami." "Oh, okay, nice. So, you ever do sketch?" I said, "No, I'm stand-up comic." They were like, "Okay, nice. Okay, well, nice job, Finesse." I was like, "Okay, thank you." And they left. And then I heard, psst. I was like, I looked around, psst, and I see this eye, and it's this little green eye looking through the thing, and it was D-Ray. He was like, "Yo." And I was like, "What?" He said, "Nigga, I think you got it."
Oh.
I said, "Why you say that?" He said, "Cause ain't nobody come in here and ask me shit." I was like, "Bro?" He was like, "Yeah, man, I've been here for 30 minutes after this." I was like, "All right, well, dang, man." And they didn't pick me. They didn't pick nobody. And so we all flew back home. And then they asked 5 of us to come back out and audition again. And so my bit was killer back then. And it was just one of them, like, stand people up type of 7-minute routine bits. And it was just the right time at the right place with the right material. And it launched my career. They picked me and Kenan Thompson, who is still there. And
won an Emmy.
Won an Emmy. Longest running cast member in the history of the show.
I didn't even realize
my brother
that.
From Atlanta. And they picked JB Smoove, who's doing quite well for himself as a writer. And of course, once he left SNL, he auditioned for Curb Your Enthusiasm, got that, and the rest is history. And, he's out of here. And so I think for all the young comics who may see this interview, it's all just about not burning bridges, doing original material, and just staying faithful to the game and being a student of the game. And in my opinion, staying humble. But people hate to hear that shit. But I think it's so, be likable. Because there's a lot of people that just, you get success and you make money and you become unlikable, but we keep laughing and smiling in your face, but we don't like you. Because you hard to like. You have turned into something that's hard.
Different.
That's hard to like.
Do you think it's the money or do you think it's the pressure? Like,
I think it's the money. I think it's the attention. I think it's the success. I think money and success makes you more of what you were. You can have arrogance and saying, one day I'm going to do this and that. But we all broke. Yeah. So it's just sort of like, yeah, you got dreams. But once they start to come to fruition and you are still like, I'm the best, then it's like hard to be around because it's just so many other comics out there that people think are the best. You know what I mean? Community. It's a large community. You can't think that you are, the creme de la creme of the entire comedy community. of history, the history of the game.
Yes.
You know.
What was it like going from stand-up to SNL? Like, not that you stopped doing stand-up, but that's going into more kind of like improvisation, live.
I enjoyed it, but I was kind of like out of place at SNL because it was sketch players. It was people who had come from Second City, just improv troops. What's the one besides Second City? There's another one.
I just learned about Second City.
The Second City and the Groundlings. You know, it was just all these different improv troops. And the writers as well. They had come from Harvard, and they had come from had nice credentials of writing on something. So to be a stand-up, you kind of isolated, and it's kind of hard, you know, because you're used to writing for yourself, and you're not used to putting things in a character form where there's a cast.
Yeah.
And so it's great when the writers work with you to say, we're going to develop this character. But if the writers, it's a hierarchy. So if the writers are like, we're going to work with Amy Poehler and Jimmy Fallon, or Amy Poehler and Maya Rudolph, or, you know, this person and that person, you know, then you got to kind of wait your turn, or you got to figure it out. So a lot of times in those days, me and JB was just in the room trying to figure it out. And Keenan was like, did y'all come up with something yet? You know what I mean? 'Cause Keenan didn't write at all. But he was just a dope, you know, actor. So he could do anything, and they loved to write for him. And for me, it was just a little bit more of a struggle where I felt the pressure some weeks. Some weeks I didn't give a damn because the after parties were so dope, you know. I would just be waiting for the after party. And it's a live show. I would literally get on the phone at 12:58, call my mama and say, Mama, wake up. I'm about to go wave goodbye to you. And she'd turn on NBC.
Oh, wow.
And then I'd walk out there like 2 minutes later, and they'd be saying, hey, we want to thank Jennifer Aniston and you too. And it was a great show. Thank you. Good night. And I'd be off to the side, and I'd look at the camera. And then as soon as it was over, I'd call, Mom, did you see me? I waved back, baby. So that was my thing, you know what I mean? And then there was sometimes I was in 4 sketches, you know, and you hit a home run, you know. So you had those times. But SNL is a pressure cooker. Some people come off the show being extremely bitter, as you know, history deep has shown, and some people come off and they the creme de la creme of what comedy is. You know, they soar. And so for me, even off the show, I have had to find where I fit in with stand-up comedy. You were saying you didn't know me to curse a lot. I didn't even know me to curse a lot. But I think 20 years in the game and still looking dashingly handsome and young. You know, sometimes the bitterness of that should have been mine and this should have been mine, and or I didn't get this or that, it starts making you curse a little bit. You know, it makes you. It doesn't make you bitter toward anybody else. I've never been that type of comic, but it did make me say, where is my break? And then every time I would get something great, I'd be like, oh, this is my break. So if I landed on Disney Channel and I'm China's dad on Ant Farm, you know, that ran for 4 years. So it was a 26-season show, 26-episode show. I mean, so it's like be getting all those checks. You know, you feel like you're winning, but you're like, but do people know where I am? And it was Bob Saget one day who said, Finesse, believe it or not, that's the best place to be, because you're guaranteed work, you're guaranteed checks, and those kids that are 14, 15, 16, 17, they're going to be ticket buyers in like 5 years. And sure enough, I go do universities and go do comedy clubs, and after the show, people be like, I used to watch you on Ant Farm. I was like, oh, thank you. You know, so I'm glad I did it. I ended up doing Showtime roadies, and that's where I met Cameron Crowe and J.J. Abrams. And that, I thought you couldn't get any bigger than those two. But they got canceled. So, damn. But I was already, you know, I was like, I just bought this car. Oh, my God.
Wow.
And, but a whole year working with those guys and just learning the game from that level, I wouldn't change it for nothing in the world. And here we are, full circle. Showtime is like, we loved you then, we love you now. We saw your special, we want to air it. So, you know, I'm glad you don't go and act a fool. And you be like, y'all canceling my motherfucking show after a year.
Sometimes you want to.
Yeah, you want to, but you don't, because those same people are like, hey, you want to do a comedy special? You're like, yep.
And that's what I say in the business and learning too. There's something. My sister gets very protective over me when she knows like certain things are being done by maybe other comedians. I'm not a comedian, but just in this environment anyways. And I'll just be like, no, I don't have anything to say because I believe in a lot of my scriptures.
Right.
And I said, God says He gonna prepare a plate at the table amongst my enemies. Yes.
Spirit.
Your comedy special coming out. What the Spirit told me to tell you?
Yep. I'm not even a church going person like
That's
that.
what I was gonna ask. Like, how did you even come up with that, and then even felt the confidence to be like, the Spirit told me to tell you? Because them type of people be like, you be like, come on now.
Right. I don't know. I think it was God who said, it's the imperfect man who I send my message through. I don't know if he said that. I just made it up.
He might have said it in there somewhere.
He said it something like that. Bathsheba.
But
I don't know.
Great.
But I think when somebody is like, that guy is just like me, and or I know him personally, or I can relate to him personally, and I slip in some nuggets, you're laughing, but at the same time you're like,
exactly.
And I find that that's where my comedy is going, and I like that lane. I'm not too vulgar. I'm not gonna do the, we can curse on this, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do the dick and pussy jokes a lot. I'm not gonna do the the dope boy jokes. There is a lane for that. And the people who are in those lanes are doing phenomenal. And their fan base is loyal. But sometimes to just tell a nice written joke, sometimes you lost out there in the community world, especially with black comedy, because white people will say, yeah, but who's your fan base? Because you can't be Kevin Hart because he's Kevin Hart. And you can't be Cat Williams because Cat Williams is Cat Williams. And Chappelle has his people and da-da-da. So you're kind of fighting for fans because everybody else is just comedy. It's like if you ain't at the top, then everybody else is doing comedy. So my goal is to just not be doing comedy and to be somewhere in between just doing comedy and the top. I don't want that top spot. I don't want that top 3. I don't want that top 5. Them checks can be up there, but I like flying under the radar and having that cult niche following of people saying, oh man, I've been following Finesse since.
Because they're loyal.
They're loyal, you know what I mean? And my fan base is always like 50-50 at all my shows.
Yeah,
I put Republicans next to Democrats. I put rednecks next to thugs.
Because that's what I've always noticed about you.
Yeah, and I make them all laugh at the same time. And not everybody can play it like that, So that's my thing.
I think I want to go into your SNL days.
Okay.
Even though it was 3 years.
Yes, 3 years.
So, you did many impressions. So what was it for you to come up with those impressions? And is that something like you wanted to do, or is that something that had to be done for the show?
It's something that had to be done for the show.
Because you were playing every black person.
And that's why I said it had to be done for the show. It's like, you're going to be 50 Cent. And I was like, all right, I'm going to be 50. All right, let's do it then. You know what I mean? But I've never done impressions. But then I learned you want to be on the show. Like we had Hilary Swank, and the movie was $1 Million Baby or something. It was a huge movie. And they were like, and Finesse, you're going to be Morgan Freeman. And I was like, I ain't never done no Morgan Freeman. And they was like, pretty good chance you'll be on the show if you can do Morgan Freeman. And I was like, first time I saw Andy walk in the Shawshank, I said to myself, I didn't think much of him. I wish I could say Andy fought off the sisters that night, but I wish I could say that. I was like,
you want to be on the show, you
gotta start practicing. So that's where it was. That's what it was for me, because they be like, "Hey, y'all gonna be Venus and Serena," and we were like, "We don't have no black women on the show." And it was like, "Yeah, y'all gonna be Venus and Serena."
Did you ever feel any type of way about playing the female character? Because you got that comedy community who was behind Chappelle with what he said about dressing as a woman, and it being. How did you feel about it?
It's hard. At the time, I did not. I was already doing a ghetto girl named Starkeisha.
Yes.
My name is Starkeisha. My booty soft to touch. The fellas think I'm Janet because they like to miss me much. They miss me much. They was like, you and Janet Jackson about to do a sketch. I'm like, yeah. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. It's comedy to me.
Okay.
If you don't have to do that and you making $1 gazillion and you ain't got to do that, you can call out people who doing that. But I do know in the history of black comedy, black men have always done that. You know, they have always played those characters. Jamie Foxx from Wanda, Chris Rock did drag, Wesley Snipes did drag. I never seen Eddie do drag, but Richard definitely did drag. So it's like, you know,
Eddie
Richard
didn't drag,
Pryor.
but Eddie was
But Eddie,
clumps.
yes, Eddie, yes. Everybody dresses up like
Yeah.
a woman. It's just that
Entertainment.
It's entertainment. But sometimes I got what people were also saying. They do that too much to y'all, you know, and I got that point of it too. But I like money. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not gonna do it, somebody gonna do it. Let me do it. Let me do it well. And if I don't feel compromised, I appreciate you looking out for me. But in the time, I was at work. You know what I mean? Now, I can see it after I got off the clock and I went to go do stand up and I put on a wig. Then it's like, damn, Finesse, you like them wigs, don't you? But in the context of doing sketch comedy, everything is in balance. I mean, I saw dudes kissing dudes just for sketch. Those dudes are big stars right now. You know what I mean? But the sketch called for it. They went for it on camera, and they didn't think nothing of it. Now, of course, we backstage saying, y'all gay as hell.
That's hilarious. Can't say it today, but hey, back then definitely. I was looking through some footage. You was the one who was supposed to make sure Kanye West didn't come out saying nothing stupid.
Right.
What happened, Finesse?
What I learned back then was Kanye is gonna be Kanye, and right back then it was still college dropout Kanye.
Yeah,
you know,
different Kanye.
Yeah, different Kanye. The Kanye today, I do not believe is well. It's hard to tell somebody they're not well if they think they're well, because all they're gonna say is everyone else is crazy. But on a real tip, I just think there has been some trauma and just some psychological damage. I'm getting real deep with the loss of his mom. I don't think he never recovered from that.
I was just finna say, I wish his mom didn't die, because
nobody wants that up to anybody's mom. But even the way even the pressure of her feeling like she needed to look a certain way and to go get cosmetic surgery. Then him being on TMZ saying I got hooked on opioids because he went and got
so y'all wouldn't call me
liposuction.
fat.
Yeah. And I'm like, I got mad at everybody when I heard that, because I got mad at him for saying that on TV, but that's his truth. I got mad at his wife for letting your man
feel that he had to do that too.
You know what?
But let him go on with that thought that he had to do it.
Your wife is supposed to hold you up and say, baby, yes, you're chunky, but you my chunky, and forget whatever. Like, not so, hey, let me give you a great doctor because this is the person we use.
Exactly.
No, and so now I'm hooked on opioids because I'm in pain. And to the point where this whole Trump thing, I used to think it's attention. I used to think it's album promotion. But now it's just like, I just think he psychologically likes bucking the system. And he really
this is the way
wholeheartedly believes in what he feels, and he has the right to believe that. But I don't think he will. And I ain't buying another album.
You're right. You're an author as well.
Yes.
You wrote, it's a long title.
Your girlfriends only know so much. I was a writer for Essence magazine for I think 3 or 4 years. Had a relationship advice column that turned into a book deal. That book deal is what propelled me more into the crossover of What America, because I was doing so much Today Show. I was a regular on the Today Show. I was a regular on Tyra Banks' show. I was a regular of anybody who had a talk show during that time period, because I would come on and give the comedic relationship advice. So yeah, but it was dope. It's still a dope book. Go get that book. I got a second book in the works, but go get that book. Your girlfriends only know so much. A brother's take on mating and dating for sisters.
You writing the book, now working on another one. What did it take for you? Because you're married now twice. And that's not no shame.
I knew it. Dang.
What made you feel like, okay, now I can write, or you know what I'm saying?
That was a tough moment.
Because you always got people like, how dare you can talk.
That was a tough moment for me, Nika. I'll be honest with you. I'm riding high. I'm speaking to 3,000 to 7,000 women at Essence festivals, doing the love and relationship seminars. I got the dope book. Oprah almost had me on her couch talking about the book. Everything is going great.
Wow, okay.
And I come home, and my wife is gone. So it was like, what, hey.
Yeah.
So she was like, yeah, it was just the pressure. She felt pressure of me being gone a lot and the success outside of, SNL was kind of like regimented where you knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
When SNL was over, I was just going all the time doing stand-up, and then I had the book tour, and then I had the book publicity and the column. And she had not quite found herself.
Okay.
And to make a long story short, it just didn't work out. But then I had to tell Essence that I wasn't married anymore. And that was a tough conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because black women are still black women. They like, Negro? Huh? What? Hell no.
No matter how high up they get.
Don't you say, shh, you never said that to me? I don't know nothing. But then eventually it was like, yo, Finesse is no longer married.
Yeah.
And then Steve Harvey kind of slid in and took over he took over the column, he took over the day, and it was just like, so it was an awful time for me where I was just like, wow, I just lost that whole lane. And I even had people texting me and tweeting me, Steve Harvey stole your book. You know what I mean? It was just, he just slid into that lane.
Mm-hmm.
And
he was one, I remember Tony had said that too, like, how can he be giving relationship advice when he's been married like 3 times?
Well, see, I ain't going there.
Yeah, I know.
But at the same time, it is what it is. It's just hard to, marriage isn't easy for anybody, number one. There's ups and downs. People like fight to get into them, and then once you get into them, the real work starts because that new car smell wears off, and it's that real life, are we a great partnership? Mm-hmm. You may be great at bills and cooking and nurturing, but sex is lacking. Mm-hmm. Sex may be the bomb, but somebody's cheating. Mm-hmm. Nobody's cheating. Sex is okay, but somebody is unfulfilled and not happy professionally. Mm-hmm. It's just so many dynamics that come in with the ebb and flow of marriage that one minute you're riding, the next minute you hit a pothole, and you're like, oh, that was bad. You don't even know your little hubcap done rolled off, went down the street. Your car is it's just bad. So, that's what it was. Now my new wife is the bomb. What's up, Idris DeBarge? She's the bomb. Gave me 2 beautiful daughters. Came from a family where she was used to entertainers.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
The DeBarges.
Yeah, she's used to the whole life.
Yeah.
And she was a producer. She put me in the movie Who's Your Caddy? And that was one of my first movies.
Yeah.
I was a dude with the dreadlocks. The potato salad is a forgery. I still have people to this day saying that. Oh, that's that dude. Black people, they so crazy. Because when they love you, they love you. They even give you like them backhanded black comments. You ever see dudes, you be like, that is him. That's that pussy nigga right there. That's him right there.
Yes.
Hey man, you funny as fuck, my nigga. You be like, did you say pussy ass nigga? Oh, that's love, dog.
Your character.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, and I'm happy, and she's happy, and it's tough. It's still tough. Mm-hmm. You ever get like 6 months into the second marriage and start saying stuff like, well, maybe it is me. I don't know. I don't know. It's the same for everybody. But It's tough. You still got to work at it. And she told me today, before I left the house tonight, she was like, I'm your partner. And I was like, yeah. She was like, I just want to remind you. Because you blowing up. You blowing up all over again.
I don't think just because you are in multiple relationships or because one marriage failed doesn't mean that you don't know what it takes to put together a relationship.
Absolutely.
I think even when we have to separate in our relationship, that could be a smart thing.
Absolutely.
For some people, it usually is a smart thing.
Absolutely. And what I told Essence and what I told women, and I tell women to this day and men, I said, just because a relationship fails, it doesn't mean you're not qualified to give relationship advice. It actually means that when the chickens came home to roost, you were actually man enough or woman enough, and in my case, man enough, to take your own advice. You know how many women I have told, oh, you got to move on from that situation. Mm-hmm. It's toxic. You got to move on from that situation. You're not going to grow. You're not going to win. Somebody has called it quits and gave up, and you are still fighting. And it's hard to reconnect if the other person gives up.
Real talk, you have to realize that.
So I took my own advice, and it was extremely hard because after like a year and a half, she was like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, we good. Let's just be friends. We good. And whatever you had to do, whatever soul searching, however you had to find yourself, good. But take that new person you just discovered and go find who you're supposed to be with. Because I'm finding who I'm supposed to be with. And I found him. And I got a great partner.
Happy for you guys.
Yeah. We got some cute old babies.
Yes, they do. I would say have me one, but I don't really want to raise it.
Yeah. That's the tough part, too. Now I got a 3-year-old and like a 3-month-old.
Mm-hmm.
That 3-year-old can't stand that 3-month-old. You think it'd be sisterly love, but she'd be like, take her back. You like, take her where? We can't take her back. She's struggling with the whole attention.
Yeah.
She's struggling right now. So we're doing little techniques that we've learned we've given her gifts from her baby sister to like, my baby sister. Yeah, we trying everything. Everything them books say we doing. Yeah.
But you got this comedy special.
Yes.
Come on.
It's called The Spirit Told Me to Tell You.
Long overdue.
10 p.m. on Showtime this Friday, October 19th. It's probably going to run at least 20 times. And all 20 times I'm going to be promoting each one. Because I want you guys to be a fan of Finesse Mitchell. I want you to be a fan of my comedy. I want you to follow my career. And I want you to just enjoy yourself and laugh. Is it the funniest special? I'm so honest. No. It ain't my best work. It ain't.
Believe you.
Is it great? Is it a good? Yes, it's good.
I watched it.
Yes, but she ain't
good.
Okay, but notice how she
I
said.
bust up laughing.
Okay.
Very much so.
All right.
I
This is such a huge platform for me because, like I said, my fan base is so mixed that it's just gonna start everything all over again, stand-up wise. I was going and entertaining people, 300 people at a time, 1,500 people at a time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're on a big tour with somebody else and it's 17,000 people. And it's always the same, like, I hadn't heard of you, or I didn't know, or I didn't know you was that fun. But now, I got a two comedy show deal with Showtime. You about to see Finesse this time with The Spirit, and then the next time with Kate's son. That's the next one.
Okay.
That's the next one. And I'm gonna take it all the way back. But I just want to, put out some good, smart comedy. You got a little politics in this one. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of relationship advice. You got marriage, and you got raising kids. You got what people should be talking about when you are 39-ish.
Who do you study when you're getting ready for a special like this? Like, what are you doing to get ready for a special like this?
Well, my wife said I had to stop smoking weed, so I just I go back and I just look at all my shows. I listen to a lot of my old shows, and I piece together my next stand-up.
Okay.
1 hour from there. Chappelle has always been my hugest influence in comedy. I saw him perform one day, and I was like, I want to do stand-up comedy. I saw Richard, and I was like, ooh. I saw Eddie Murphy do Raw and Delirious, and I was like, wow. I saw Chappelle, and I was like, I want to do that. And I was at that age where I could actually do something about it. I was like, I want to do that. Or at least I want to try it. And so, we friends to this day. And that blew my mind to have a comedy, to be influenced by somebody, and then all of a sudden y'all cool, y'all friends. And then just all the greats. Like, I'm cool with everybody, and that's what I think I love most about my career, that people respect me, and I know that, and it feels good. It feels good to walk in the room and people know he's an original, and that, I'm not the Arnez J's Earthquakes, and that wasn't my crew. My crew was the Tony Rocks and D Rays and Kevin Hart's. But it's great to see somebody like Kevin Hart from my crew just be what comedy is today. But I'm still a huge fan of Mike Epps. I used to sit in the crowd when I wanted to do comedy and see Mike Epps come to Miami and shout out his jokes because he would forget them. That's a real story. He would tell you. I used to be in the crowd saying, "Grandmama drive by. Grandmama drive by." He'd be like, "Oh yeah."
I hate that whole beef or whatever it is between them. Like, I can't account for you being you, like you said, you respect people, you try to stay humble, low key. You ain't never been in no mess, but
I'm like Lil Duval on that. You just sit back and eat popcorn like watching people. I'm vegan to all that fake beef. That's what I call it.
Fake beef?
I think it's fake, man. I think it's real. I think the animosity that a lot of them have towards, I guess I should say Mike and Kat might have towards Kevin. Kevin has Beyonce'd the game. You know what I mean? He's taken it to a level business-wise that we could all say it's achievable because we saw it right in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
So instead of like down it, encourage it. Do a movie with him. You know what I mean?
I don't
like,
know why they haven't.
Yes, that's the answer. It's not to stop progress. People are hating on progress right now. We still not in the best position to make a lot of shots out here, call a lot of shots, but we're getting there, and people are watching us. So I also agree with Mike Epps when he was on the Breakfast Club saying, "Hey man, you talking about the cousin in front of company?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I definitely believe in that as well, because whatever somebody's personal problems are, or whatever somebody's personal vices are of why they not where they supposed to be, that ain't no radio conversation. You know what I mean?
I was having a discussion about it with my editor, and I said, I feel like Kevin's in the position where how Beyonce don't do interviews.
Right.
Like, you don't even have to say anything.
Right. At this point, don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
When you're that far ahead, I think you learn as you go. And when people keep taking shots at you, sometimes you're like, he a Philly kid. Fuck that. I'm about to defend myself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even if somebody's baiting you into that, you got to have somebody around you saying, "Man,
best
don't even
revenge
address
is your
it."
paper. And not that it's revenge on him, because Mike has said that he's happy with his life and he's not looking to be a top because of what it requires. But I just feel like for Kevin, not that I don't know him personally, but I feel like why it bothers him so much is because the comedian community is it's a huge community, but it's a small community. And I feel he wants y'all respect. You know what I mean? And I think y'all all, like you said, y'all group came up together and to not really get your support back. And you were one of the people that I honestly looked up to.
Right.
Like you said, for you and Dave Chappelle, it kind of
that would be like
hurt.
That would be like I finally get my break, and Chappelle is like, Finesse don't deserve it. I'd be like, I've been in your house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I think that's what it's for Kevin,
but he has to let that go, and I think if we stop talking about it, it'll go away, and eventually those three men will sit down together. I think the reason Will Smith never hated on Jamie Foxx and Jamie Foxx never hated on Will Smith, and nobody ever called out Martin Lawrence, is because everybody's rich and everybody's getting paper, and they'll probably send a personal text message like, "Hey man, you killing it."
Yeah.
Or, "Hey man, I saw you on this, and if you need me to come
support.
over." It's support.
Genuine support.
I don't think Eddie Murphy ever said that Robin Harris shouldn't get his break, or I don't want to work with Richard Pryor or this and that. Richard Pryor was like, I'm going to put Red Fox and Eddie Murphy next to each other.
Yeah.
And then they rounded out the cast with one of the greatest comedy casts of all time for Harlem Nights and stuff like that.
Man.
We need to get on that level. Kevin and Kat and Mike need to...
Finesse.
And Finesse. More importantly, Finesse.
Your JV,
y'all,
plenty of y'all
man, what?
that could put together
We're millionaires.
Kind of way.
Let's have a meeting. Let's get a dope writer. Let's put a script together, and let's control the content that we're putting out at least once or twice a year. All black everything. That should be the conversation, not who doesn't deserve to make it and what female doesn't deserve to get her shot.
Yeah.
Dead. Oh, that's a dead conversation to me.
You work with Tiffany and
I love
Charlie
Tiffany.
Sheen.
I love Tiffany Haddish.
Mad
Families. Oh, we killed that movie. Enough people didn't see it, but go stream it. It's on Crackle. But we killed that movie. And it's funny. Me, Tiffany, Lil Rel was in that, and everybody just blew up. And then not from that movie, but it's so funny to do a project together and then leave that and then be able to just be like, so happy for Tiffany. I'm so happy for everybody doing comedy. I'm happy for progress. So no hate, no shade. Get together and see how you can make more money together. That's what you should be doing. And I'm about to blow up. And I don't want to hear nobody put my name out in the street talking about I don't deserve it. You can kiss my ass. you can kiss my Della Reese. You can kiss my crusty pink toe. Kiss my ass quick.
Well, Finesse, thanks for giving us some of your time.
Absolutely.
Good luck. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For the special again.
It's going to be airing all month in October, all month in November. If you don't have Showtime, download the app. It's Showtime on the go. You can watch it on your phone. It's a 1 hour comedy special, people. Finesse Mitchell. It's called The Spirit Told Me to Tell You. Tell a friend, tag a friend, tell a cousin.
ComedyHype.com, y'all. Thanks.